Hello everyone, welcome to Inconvenient Truths. I'm your host, Jennifer Zheng. Xi Jinping eliminated all other factions within the party at the CCP's 20th National Congress and thus complete the ultimate centralization of power. However, this absolute power has not made him feel absolutely safe. In fact, his insecurity has only grown, making him even more paranoid. How will this paranoia affect his future decisions? I think this is worth the world attention. So, starting from this episode, I will talk about three events that are related to Xi Jinping's paranoia. The first event is that when Xi Jinping visited Russia a while ago, the CCP's official media reported that among the accompanying delegation were Cai Qi, member of the Politburo Standing Committee and director of the CCP's General Secretary's Office, Wang Yi, member of Politburo and director of the Office of the Central Commission for Foreign Affairs, and Qin Gang, state councilor and minister of Foreign Affairs. This was the first time that people learned that the director of the CCP's General Secretary's Office position, which was very important to Xi Jinping, had been taken over by Cai Qi. People were surprised by this, mainly because Cai Qi had just entered the Politburo Standing Committee, ranking fifth among China's current leaders. In the CCP's political system, the director of the General Secretary's Office is only a ministerial level position, 2 levels lower than Cai Qi's position as a member of the Politburo Standing Committee. So why did Xi Jinping appoint someone like Cai Qi, who was the fifth-ranked leader in the party, to serve as a housekeeper in the CCP's General Secretary's Office? To understand this, let's first check the responsibilities of the CCP's General Secretary's Office and its director. The director of the General Secretary's Office is like the chief housekeeper of the CCP's central government compound Zhongnanhai and Xi Jinping, while the CCP's General Secretary's Office is responsible for the following issues. 1. The party central committee's secretariat and conference work. 2. The communication and management of cryptographic communications with the national party and government system. 3. The transmission of central documents, confidential telegrams, letters, and more. 4. The scientific research, production, sales, and use of commercial codes and across the country. 5. The security of the national code. 6. The security of medical care for major party and state leaders. 7. Security tasks for important activity venues of the Central Committee, the State Council, and the central leaders. 8. Drafting, revising, and verifying some central documents and manuscripts. 9. Receiving, collecting, organizing, preserving, utilizing, and researching central archival materials and administering the national archival affairs, and so on. So from these responsibilities, we can see that the General Secretary's Office not only holds all the secrets of the party and the state leaders, but also controls their personal safety. Therefore, the director of the General Secretary's Office is the overall manager of Zhongnanhai and is related to whether the Communist emperor can keep its power and ensure his personal safety. Some people say that to ensure that no coup occurs, CCP leaders must firmly control two positions. the director of the General Secretary's office, and the Central Guard Bureau that is responsible for the security of central leaders. We all know that the end of the Cultural Revolution in China was marked by the arrest of the so-called Gang of Four in 1976. This is a picture of the four members of the Gang of Four, Wang Hongwen, Yao Wenyuan, Jiang Qing, and Zhang Chunqiao being tried in court later. The head of the Gang of Four was Mao Zedong's wife, Jiang Qin, who was a powerful political figure at the time. How could she get arrested? An important reason was that the director of the General Secretary's office and the Central Guard Bureau, Wang Dongxin, cooperated in the arrest of the Gang of Four. Since the Gang of Four were also important political figures in the Communist Party, the arrest can be seen as an internal political coup within the party, and this coup or the arrest of the Gang of Four was made possible because Wang Dongxin sided with Hua Guofeng and Ye Jianying, who were the initiator of the coup. Hua Guofeng, on the left of the photo, was the CCP's chairman then, and Ye Jianying was one of the founding 10 marshals of the CCP. And on October 6, 1976, Wang Dongxin invited the Gang of Four to a meeting at the Huairen Hall in Zhongnanhai and then proceeded to arrest them one by one. When they arrived, it took only 35 minutes to arrest all four of them. On October 21st, the Communist Party announced the news of the Gang of Four's downfall through radio and newspaper. And then on October 24th, a grand celebration was held in Tiananmen Square, attended by over 1 million soldiers and civilians to mark the end of the Gang of Four era. The reason why I'm telling this story here is that I want to illustrate why this General Secretary's office is super important to the safety and the security of the top CCP leaders. So, before the CCP's 20th National Congress, there were rumors that the director of the General Secretary's office would be taken up by Wang Xiaohong, the Minister of Public Security. However, after the Congress ended, the CCP did not announce the new director for as long as 5 months. And when it did get announced, it wasn't announced formally. It was only mentioned in passing as the title of Cai Qi when Xinhua News Agency reported Xi Jinping's visit to Russia. Isn't that strange? I will explain why this strange thing happened in my next episode. Anyway, having a Politburo Standing Committee member serve as the director of the General Secretary's office was another precedent in the history of the CCP. On the one hand, this shows that Xi Jinping has a high degree of insecurity and anxiety about his own personal safety. On the other hand, it shows that Xi Jinping now truly regards himself as an emperor of the party. A member of the Politburo Standing Committee who should have been one of his comrades and co-CCP leaders is now demoted by 2 levels to serve as his personal housekeeper. So, who is Cai Qi? It is said that in Xi Jinping's eyes, Cai Qi's biggest characteristic is strong execution capability. In the public eye, Cai Qi's most famous event was when he was the mayor of Beijing in 2017. He drove over He drove over 100,000 so-called low-end populations out of Beijing during the harsh winter months. Although this caused public outrage, it made Xi Jinping very satisfied. In December 2017, a video of Tai Chi giving an internal speech on solving Beijing's problems was leaked online.
到了基层，到了点上，那就是真刀真枪，就是要吃到见红，就是要敢于碰硬，就是要解决问题。
Well, in this video, he basically said when you get to the grassroots level, you need a real knife and a real gun. When you wield a knife, you must see blood before you stop. You need to be bold enough to take the tough approach and solve problems. See blood on your knife. What a terrifying statement. This also shows that Tai Chi is truly a tough character. Xi Jinping has broken with tradition by appointing such a tough character as his personal partner. This shows how concerned he is about his own personal safety, and there are ample reasons for his concerns. That's because his previous director of the General Secretary's office, Ding Xuexiang, who is also now a member of the Politburo Standing Committee, reportedly had a big problem. His son was said to have been compromised by the United States. Ding Xuexiang, who has been with Xi Jinping for over a decade, was rumored to have committed suicide in January as a result of this incident. So what are the details of this incident? I will discuss them in the next episode. Well, that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching. Please double check if you are still subscribed to my channel, as YouTube keeps taking off my subscribers. And if you like my content, please spread my channel and video or go to my website at jenniferzengblog.com. jenniferzengblog.com. Sign up for a membership or make a donation to support my effort. Thank you. See you next time.